The Seeker and the Sage. In ancient India, nestled in a serene forest, there was a small monastery where Gautama Buddha often meditated. One day, a man named Raj, burdened by frustration and sorrow, decided to seek out the Buddha, hoping for solace and answers. Raj's life was filled with problems. He felt overwhelmed by the pressures of work, family, and his own insecurities. He had heard of Buddha's wisdom and believed that the sage could help him find peace. Raj finally reached the monastery. He found Buddha sitting under a large, spreading tree, eyes closed, in deep meditation. Raj hesitated but then gathered his courage and approached the enlightened one. "Great Buddha," Raj began, his voice heavy with emotion, "I am lost and deeply troubled. My life is filled with endless suffering and confusion. Please, I beg you, help me find a solution to my problems." Buddha opened his eyes and looked at Raj with compassion. He gestured for Raj to sit beside him. Raj sat down, his heart still heavy but now filled with a glimmer of hope. Buddha spoke in a calm and soothing voice. "Tell me, Raj, what is it that troubles you so deeply?" Raj poured out his heart, speaking of his unending worries, his failures, and the burdens he felt. He talked about the relentless pressure to succeed and the constant fear of not being good enough. After listening patiently, Buddha said, "Raj, imagine this. A man is struck by an arrow, and he refuses to remove it until he knows who shot it, why it was shot, what kind of arrow it is, and so forth. By the time he gets his answers, he will have succumbed to his injury. Does this make sense?" Raj looked puzzled. "No, it doesn't. He should remove the arrow immediately to save his life." Buddha nodded. "Exactly. You see, Raj, your worries and doubts are like the arrow. The first step is to acknowledge them and then seek a way to remove them, rather than getting lost in questioning their origins." Raj thought about this and began to feel a sense of clarity. Buddha continued, "Life is filled with suffering, but suffering arises from our attachment and desires. Understand this, the root of your problems is your attachment to things, your expectations, and your fears. To find peace, you must first recognize this truth." Raj listened intently as Buddha spoke about the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, guiding principles to end suffering and achieve inner peace. The Four Noble Truths, Buddha explained, are the truths of suffering, the cause of suffering, the end of suffering, and the path that leads to the end of suffering. The Eightfold Path includes right understanding, intention, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. By following these principles, you can find your way out of suffering. Raj felt a weight lift off his shoulders as Buddha's words sunk in. He realized that his suffering stemmed from his own mind and that he had the power to change his perspective and actions. "Thank you, great Buddha," Raj said, his voice filled with gratitude. "You have shown me the way to find peace within myself." Buddha smiled gently. "Remember, Raj, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Practice mindfulness and compassion, and you will find the serenity you seek." Raj left the monastery with a renewed sense of purpose. He began to practice the teachings of Buddha, gradually finding peace and clarity in his life. He learned to face his problems with a calm mind and a compassionate heart, transforming his suffering into wisdom and strength. And so, the story of Raj and the teachings of Buddha spread throughout the land, inspiring many to seek the path of mindfulness and inner peace.